Let's go!
From Nintendo and Illumination.
The Super Mario Brothers can take care of the kingdom.
Comes a super-powered adventure. On April 1st.
Pack our things.
The galaxy gets even bigger.
He knows that's my bike, right?
Yes, sir.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie. Rated PG. Only theaters April 1st. Get tickets now.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Hi, everybody. It's Justin, the host of the Deprogrammed. Yes, I am indeed Dan Curious. And if this is the first time you play on an episode of Deprogrammed and it just so happens to be a bonus episode, that's weird. But you should know that Deprogrammed is a podcast where I get people together. We have a discussion about an artist or a band, and the whole thing is showing love to said band and coming out with a top 10 starter kit for someone who might be new to that artist. So it's a lot of discussion about songs, about what they mean in the discography. It's a lot of fun. It's part conversation, part game show, part Discog deep dive. So it's a lot of fun. And if you're interested in getting involved, reach out. But I'm going to start doing this episode at least every week of what's coming up on the show, in an attempt to start growing Deprogrammed into a daily podcast. I've been talking about it forever and just not doing it. So this is me doing it. This week on the show, the episode coming out is Manic Street Preachers. And it's been a really emotional time here at Deprogrammed because you may have noticed, again, if you're new, you haven't, go back a couple episodes, but if you've been around, then you noticed that the last episode that just released was In Memoriam to Peter, just a Peter episode where we just talked about Peter. The episode that came out just before it was Foxy Shazam, which was his last episode, and just before that was Catherine Wheel, which is, penultimate is the word I believe I'm looking for. Like it was the one before the last one. And there's a couple more of these episodes where Manic Street Preachers is coming out, and it's one of the last ones that he was working on before we lost him. So Manic Street Preachers is definitely emotional and going to be looked at as an important episode. But it also coincides with St. David's Day, which is why we will go into it in the episode. But St. David's Day is coming up, which is a huge day in Wales. And again, you have to listen to the episode when it comes out on Thursday to kind of get the whole picture of why that happened, the way it did. But Manic Street Preachers is coming out on Thursday. Episodes that are being recorded this week, it's a busy one. I'm trying to start canning April. So we're getting half of April done this week. Tonight, as I record this, I'm going to start trying to get these out on Mondays, but it didn't happen yesterday. As we record this, we're doing Beat Happening tonight, which is a band I'd never heard of. Most of these are going to be. So if you'd like to hear me talk about a band that I'd never heard of, these are the ones you're going to want to look at, and that one will be coming out sometime in April, presuming nothing happens and we don't get, to for some reason not be able to record it. Life happens, is what I'm saying. Also recording this week on Friday, we're recording The Motels, an 80s band. You may be familiar with a hit of theirs. And then on Sunday afternoon, we're finally recording our episode on Avril Lavigne. So that's all the episodes that we're recording this week. Playlist diving, meaning things I'm getting started on or working on currently. This week I'm going to be focusing on starting our Warren Zevon episode and starting on our Minutemen episode, which I imagine will be on the docket for recording Minutemen might be still close to a month away, but Zevon probably in the next couple weeks. And then I'm going to do my cuts for Cap and Jazz. I'm not sure when that's going to come in, but like it was something for a quick turnaround for whenever. So I just kind of went ahead and did my first pass on it. Another thing I wanted to offer out here, I don't get a lot of questions. Usually people that have questions are people who end up being on the, ending up jumping on a panel and hanging out in the Discord, or end up being on the show and we talk about it on the after the fact. But another thing I'd like to do, eventually, and we'll start gathering up, is if you have questions about the pod, or maybe you want to hear my thoughts on an episode that we did, or something like that. I don't know. We can field questions here, and then I can, once I have questions that I can release an episode with, we'll release one. Again, the idea is to turn Deprogrammed into a daily pod, and without it being multiple episodes of Deprogrammed. So, I mean, in the interest of that, like if there's anything that you'd be interested in hearing, some ideas are one-off, where we talk about a record. A thing I'm toying around with is I can talk. I'm supposed to do this like all the time. Earworm of the week. Just a song that wormed its way into my brain. Not breaking any new ground there, but like, maybe somebody will have forgotten a song, or, I don't know. Or maybe on that same wavelength, try this. Somebody can try to earworm me. I don't know. I'm open to ideas is what I'm saying, but the goal is to get to 5 episodes of Deprogrammed a week. The Thursday remaining the main episode where we're talking about a band the way Deprogrammed exists. Mondays are going to be this. I'm going to talk about what's coming up on Deprogrammed. So 3 days of programming that I have ideas for, but I also want to put it out there that I'm open to your ideas and suggestions if there's something that you specifically would like to hear on the Deprogrammed feed. That said, I do want to point out that patreon.com/ohhijustin's a great place to support the show. Part of the reason I'm trying to move to Deprogrammed becoming a daily show is, I'm definitely trying to quit my job. It's not doing much for me financially anyway. So like I am trying to figure out a way to put myself into something that I actually want to do in life. And that's this. I want to do this. So I'm not saying you have to, but I am saying if you've ever thought about pledging, now would be a great time. Pledging to Patreon, patreon.com/ohhijustin. As I always say, $1 gets you in the door. It's super helpful and appreciative. Appreciated. I am appreciative, and it is appreciated, is what I meant to say. But if you've got a few extra bones a month, that would be cool. But I'm trying to up the content, and this will probably spurn off into other things, not just Deprogrammed related, but that's where I'm starting, is at some point I have to do. And so here's me doing. With that, normally I would sign off by saying learn them and love them, people, but we're not talking about a band here, but I guess learn them and love them anyway. We'll see you Thursday. Bye.